Everyone, happy Monday. And for all of you listening to this on the podcast, welcome to the Heart Artistry Podcast. I am so glad that you are here. And for those of you joining me on live or watching the replay here on Instagram, welcome. I'm so grateful that you are here. So what we're talking about today is the energetics, the frequency behind multi-5-figure months, and how to create this on the energetic and identity level. So we're not necessarily going into offers, product suite, sales sequence, or strategy. We're not doing any of that today. I want to talk about how the universe is constantly, always, 100% of the time, responding to your frequency and your standards. I posted a reel sometime last week or the week before, I believe. And it was focused on how we do this thing where it's like, we'll see, right? And the title of that reel was, instead of we'll see, it's not a we'll see, it's a I will decide now. Because what feels like the safest thing in our brain, which is wired to look for safety, is, can I find that guarantee, that level of proof, that level of evidence that when I do this, I will be okay? If I take this decision, if I make this move, I'll be fine. If we all knew that every single time we launched, it was gonna be a 5-figure launch, a 6-figure launch, we would be launching every day. If we knew that anytime we started a new business, it would be successful and it would grow to multi-7 figures, nobody would hesitate quitting their jobs and starting businesses. If you knew for sure that when you go on a date, that this is going to be your person and you're going to end up getting married, and there isn't going to have to be tons of back and forth dating and having to go through meeting tons of people before you find your person, like, we would do that. We like that. We like the safety. Our brain is wired for it. And we get to feel safe, right? We get to feel that safety. But when we're talking about multi-5 figures and the frequency of multi-5 figures, this is a frequency of safety. And when we talk about safety, it's really going to come from emotional, internal safety that we create from the inside out. Because going back to what I was saying, is it's not a we'll see, it's a I am deciding now. And this is what we get to do with our money. It isn't like, well, we'll see how people respond to this program, and if they like the program, then we'll see if we can get to 5 figures. I don't know if I'll get to 5-figure months. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'll hit that multi-5-figure mark, right? $20,000, $30,000 a month. Well, I'm not sure. It'll just have to depend, right? It'll have to depend on whether people like this program and whether or not I can deliver in this way. And well, we have to factor in the economy and all of these things that we start to place in buckets that are outside of our realm of control. We start to place it in these buckets that are externally sourced, external validation, external safety. Well, if this is all going well, if the stock market and the economy is going well, then that means my business should be going well. If this program is selling, and if people are watching my stuff, and if I have high engagement on Instagram, then it'll be a good indication of whether or not I'm gonna make this amount of money. So if we're always placing our worth, not even just our worth, but if we're always placing our safety and this like depends on this, right? It's like there always has to be a factor that it's like, if people like this, then I'll go all in. If this sells in the first couple days, then I'll actually double down on it. If people buy within the first 24, 48 hours, then I will actually continue to talk about it. How often do we go into a launch where it's like, okay, we'll see how this goes, versus I declare and decide with my energy and my power and who I am before any of the proof. Because how easy is it to go through a launch and create a brand new offer. And the moment that you let it go, there's a line out the door, and we do get to create that. But if it's, say, like a brand new offer, or you're pivoting in your business, or you're going through some kind of reinvention, right? You're doing something a little bit different where you're not quite sure how it's going to go. And even if you have a track record of line out the door launches, which is incredible, and I teach how to do that specifically in my mastermind, having multi-5-figure pre-sales before the door is even open, right? That's what I teach my clients. Even if we do have that, when we're creating something new, or when we're launching in a little bit of a different way, and we're listening, we're following our intuition, we're doing something a little bit different, we still have to create the level and the baseline of safety that still comes from within us. So this is what I mean by it can't just be a we'll see kind of mentality. Because then we're always putting our decisions and our power in somebody else's hands. Whether it is the hands of our clients and community, whether it is the hands of like life and the universe, but we're the ones that get to decide that, right? And I believe constantly that the universe is mirroring and reflecting back the standards in which we hold for ourselves. So when I was younger and when I was dating, I would let the people that I was dating, the boys that I was dating, my boyfriends at the time in high school or when I was younger, to just kind of treat me how they wanted to treat me. And I close this because it's getting loud. I would just kind of allow it. Like if they were doing something that really hurt me, or if they were doing something that I felt like was disrespectful to me, there was a version of me that would just allow it. It would just be like, oh, okay, it's fine. Maybe it means something about me. Maybe there's something I should change. Maybe it means that I'm not worthy enough or I'm not good enough. And I think a lot of us are conditioned and taught this as women. But then as you grow older, you put up with less shit and your standards rise. So what you would have tolerated in a high school relationship with a high school boyfriend, and I was always talking to other girls and flirting and being disrespectful and not knowing how to control their temper or their emotions, and really lacked regulation skills mostly because they were a high schooler and their prefrontal cortex was not developed, right? But when we do this, when we allow that to happen, we're sending signals not just to our partner at the time, but the universe and how we want the universe to respond to us in general. We're saying, it's okay to be treated like this. In fact, maybe I need to see if there's something I need to change, versus saying, I am not okay with this. I will not be, I'm not tolerating this kind of disrespect, and I am walking away. Or I'm setting a clear boundary. If this continues to happen, I will not be able to be in this relationship any longer. But when we're in high school and we don't understand that and we don't see that and we're not aware that we're constantly setting standards, and we just want to be loved and we just want to be accepted and we just want to experience what it's like. Luna, come here. We just want to experience what it's going to be like, or what it's like to be loved, right? Like we just want to experience what it's like to feel cared for and appreciated, because we want that. We want that more than anything. And so we're willing to go out of our way and accept the standards that we don't actually enjoy in order to experience that. But when you get older, that is not available to you. You get to a point where you're like, I can't believe I used to allow that kind of behavior. I cannot believe that I used to let my boyfriend in high school or college talk to me that way or argue with me that way. And I thought it was normal. I thought everyone in a relationship experiences this until you realize that it's not. And then you have to raise your standards because you know that that's not the kind of partnership that you want to be in that's going to be supportive and healthy for you. You don't want that. You respect yourself more. It sometimes is the catalyst that helps you to see your worth for the first time, is getting your heart broken as a teenage girl at 16 or 17. And you go through what feels like the world's biggest heartbreak in the world. And then you realize that you survive it, that you're okay, and that it actually taught you so much about yourself, and that you're actually really amazing, and that you love yourself so much, and you learn to love yourself so much that you would never let someone treat you like that ever again. And it's the same thing when we set energetic standards with money, right? We teach people how to treat us, and we teach people how to treat us, and what we allow is our standards. So if we're allowing somebody to talk to us in a way that is completely disrespectful, but you don't say anything about it and you don't do anything about it and nothing actually shifts, you don't actually have the conversation with someone where you say, I feel very hurt. I feel very disrespected when you treat me like that. Can we communicate in a different way, right? And setting standards and setting those boundaries and setting the way, this is the way in which we are asking to be treated in our relationships, in our friendships, in our dynamics. These are the standards in which we will allow. And so it's the same thing with money. We have these standards in which we allow money to come in and come out of our lives. And since money is an energy and money responds to us, then money will respond to your standards. Money comes in as a byproduct and listens to the standards that you set. So if right now money comes in, but then it leaves, and it comes in for a little bit, but then it leaves again, and you have some high cash months, but then it also comes way, way, way back down to a point where you can't see yourself continuing to live like this if that goes on for longer, then you are the one that gets to set the standard of it looking different. You are the one that sets that. It's not like, well, we'll see. Let me see if it changes over time. Let me see if, let me see how things go the rest of this year, right? We start to want to put ourselves in this state of, it feels like it's out of my control. And because it's out of my control, I don't know what's going to happen. And so I'm too scared to even set a standard here because I'm worried that it's not actually going to be met. Or I'm so worried about how things are right now that I don't want it to drop down even lower. I don't want the other shoe to drop. Or if the other shoe is already dropped, then it's like, I don't feel like I actually have control over this. I don't actually feel like I can change any of this. So because we feel like we have no control, because we feel like we can't change anything, because we feel like we're just a player in the universe and we're not actually able to control anything, then we start to take a back seat in our own life and in our own business. And this becomes really deadly to our business that relies on us being the leader. And a lot of people will start their businesses, and because there's this energy of like big excitement, you're doing something brand new, you're so excited about it, you're so lit up about it, it's like the most exciting thing that you've done ever. This is why sometimes, like, if you've been in business for many years now and you see someone starting their business and they pop out with like some crazy high cash months and you're like, oh my gosh, like that, how is that even possible? They just started, right? It's like you have this energy when you're first starting that just feels like no one can tell you anything. You are just on top of the world. You are unstoppable. And over time, and also because when you're in that state, you don't really know, you don't know the kind of heartbreak that you can experience as a business owner, right? Just to put it flat out. You don't know what it's like to have really high cash months and then really low cash months. You just haven't experienced it yet. It just isn't in your arsenal of skills. You haven't built the skills to be able to come back up from a slow season or a hard season, or something happens in your personal life and you have to learn to navigate being a business owner and navigating something in your personal life. You don't have those skills. So you don't see, it's almost like this like beautiful naivete where it's like you just don't see beyond this lens, this veil of joy and bliss and unicorns and rainbows because you just started your business and everything's going so well and you're so energized and oh my gosh, everything around me is glitter and sunshine and rainbows and it's good and it's so good. Right? And I do believe that for those of us that have been in business for many years, we get to come back to this and bring this energy back into our lives and make things a big deal again, right? Like, I decided to go on live today and I was like, you know what? I'm going to show up like I'm showing up at like an event, right? So I put on this purple dress and I'm here with you all live. This is going to be on the podcast as well. And I just decided like, I'm going to make this a really big deal because it is. And if we're not the ones that are going to make every aspect of our business a big deal, there's no one else that's going to come out of their way and do that for us, right? Like we can have the supportive friends and we can have the supportive family and we have the mentor that's going to be cheering us on, which is incredible. Like I love doing that and seeing my clients for what they're doing and creating because I just know what it takes. Right? But you are the person in your life that is going to have to lead. This is why I see entrepreneurship as you're not just leading others, you're leading yourself first and foremost. You are leading yourself first and foremost. So that means when things feel difficult, when you don't see the evidence and the proof of what's coming in and what's coming through, you still hold and create and source the level of conviction from within that powers you. And you become the kind of person that is able to do anything and create anything because of who you are, because of how you lead yourself, because of the kind of leader that you decide to be. And so what I was giving earlier, that example of like, we'll just see if I hit 5-figure months, we'll just see if this happens. It's not a we'll see. You decide it. And after you decide it, and after you declare it, something magical happens because your declarations and your decisions are extremely powerful, And I think that anytime that we start putting power in other things, like, well, we'll see how my clients react, and we'll see how the sales are, and we'll see how the economy is, and we'll see how the industry likes this, and we'll see how blah, 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 and if this is a trending thing, and if, this is like a shiny, popular new sales strategy that everyone's jumping on, and everyone's launching a membership, so maybe I should launch a membership. Like, when we can remove all of that and release and dissolve all of that, then we are left with our own self-leadership. Multi-5-figure months and the frequency of multi-5-figure months is self-leadership. And the declaration of you deciding that you will make multi-5-figure months. You deciding that you are not available for anything less than a 5-figure month. These are all decided by you. But if you need all of these other factors in order to tell you that you are worthy, if you need all of this validation and evidence and proof and support from all of these different places and people and things and metrics and engagement and sales and money and clients and signups and notifications from your payment processor, if you need all of that, sometimes I feel like the universe holds things from us before we're fully ready because it doesn't want us anchoring in the wrong frequency. It doesn't want it. It doesn't want us to be in that frequency of, oh, she can do all of this and think that it's the way. It's not the way. Right? It's not the way to track all these things and wait for external validation and wait for the sources and wait for all the things in the world to tell you that you're worthy, and then you believe that you're worthy, and then maybe you can make multi-5-figure months. No, the universe is like, I want her to see it for herself. And I want her to decide for herself. And I want her to see just how powerful she is. So yes, there's a way in which she's doing it right now, and some money is coming through, but I want to hold the big money, the magic money. I want to hold that until she comes into her own power so that she can see that it was always about her leading herself all along. I believe that that's what the universe has in conversation with itself and with us, with our higher selves, because it doesn't want us to stabilize an unsustainable way of working and selling and running our businesses and leading ourselves. So multi-5-figure months is about leadership. It's about leadership on the front end and leadership in the back end, right? And that means you are leading your clients and you're leading your community and you're leading your movement. And in order for you to be able to do that, you are first and foremost leading yourself. So that means in any situation, in anything that you do, in anything that you create, you're not putting it in the hands of other people and other things and other metrics. Right? Nothing is taking away your power. Nothing is taking away your ability to source from within. Only you can do this. Only you can decide. Only you can declare. Multi-5-figure months is not just going to fall in your lap without your consent. Because you have free will, you get to decide. It's not just going to be something that happens to you. And even if it did, you would see it as a fluke more than anything. But when you decide you're going to make multi-5-figure months, when you decide that this is who you're being, when you decide that this is who you are, and this is what you want to create in your business, and this is your standard, just like the example of like, You're not going to let a partner treat you the way that you used to allow yourself to be treated in high school. Your standards have risen 100 times since then. So it's the same thing. When you're going into the season of your business, your standards, your energetic standards for what you are creating and who you are is different. It's so different. It's a completely different version of you. And you are also saying, because you know that the universe is, you're co-creating with the universe and the spirit of your business, and you were chosen by the spirit of your business. And because you were chosen, this is your purpose, this is your art, this is your artistry, this is your magic, this is what you bring to the world. And so everyone's better for it. And it would actually be a great disservice to keep this from people. And the universe knows this. And it's part of the reason that you're here in this lifetime. So you get to say to the universe, thank you. Thank you for cutting and funding this work of my artistry, this work that I get to do day in and day out, and what I get to create, because what I'm bringing to the table and what I get to bring in this lifetime is unmatched. Nobody else can do it in the way I do it. So we get to look at the universe and say, thank you for cutting and funding my paychecks. And this is where we tap into the level of money that comes in overflow. This is money. This is more money than you know what to do with. That's the kind of money that I'm talking about that gets to be unleashed when you set higher and higher and higher standards, because you know that you value your work so much and the universe values your work so much, but it cannot give you more money than you are allowing yourself to receive. It cannot give you more money than your energetic minimums and maximums. So if you can raise your energetic standard and say, I will not allow less than $10,000 a month in my business every single month, then the universe comes in and supports you in that. Because you are deciding, because you are declaring, because you are calling the shots, and you are dictating that from within you. And because you see your value and the universe sees your value, and now because of that, your clients see your value, and the way that you talk about your offers is different, and the way that you sell is different, and the way that you show up because of all of this is different, money starts moving differently as well. Because instead of like, oh, we'll see, I don't know, we'll see, maybe, I don't know, let me look out the window and see, maybe, is it coming? I don't know. Is that it down there? 3 streets down? Is that it? Let me squint really hard. Let me squint really, really hard. Is that it? Is that a 5-figure month coming my way? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's call it not, just in case, because I don't want to be disappointed and I don't want to care too much. So I don't think that is what it is. We're just going to wipe our hands clean of that kind of delusion and hope and just go on our merry way and go back to hoping and praying and saying, maybe we'll see. I don't know. And we do this to ourselves because of our human. Our human is wired to keep us safe and to keep us protected. But when we can allow ourselves to create the level of emotional safety that comes from within, that is not dependent on anyone or anything else, and we create that from the inside out, we're playing a different game. We're not playing the game of linear, logical, transactional, oh, we'll see if it comes through. If the economy is good, then it should, right? And if this person likes it, then they should buy. And if this program starts to sell pretty well, then yeah, I guess that's logical. That's linear. That is a way of thinking that we do not operate on as entrepreneurs, as leaders, as founders. How can we? How can we operate on that realm where it's like, well, if this person buys, if this goes well, if the stock market, the economy, the industry, oh, that's not how things are done in this industry. That's not the rules. Who created these rules? Who set these rules and decided that every single person who wants to be successful has to follow these rules and has to follow these trends? right? Who decides that? And why are we constantly outsourcing our power to these people? Who are these people? Who are these rules? Right? Why are we outsourcing again and again and again and again our magic, our power? We're the ones that get to decide. We're the ones that set the standard. But if we're constantly putting our power in all of these other buckets, right? If my clients buy and like this program, then maybe it'll do well. And maybe if this new offer sells in the first couple of days, then maybe I can get to a 5-figure month. I don't know, maybe down the line. I don't think I'm worthy of it yet. I think that needs to be something that comes years down the line because I just don't think I've worked hard enough for it. We create all of these standards and limitations that don't even actually support us. And then we light them on fire and we make them like the law. And then we live by them. And we're like, no, 5-figure months, that's not even available for me because I haven't done this and this and this and this yet. Who made these rules? Who created these rules? I just want to know. I just want to know. So when we can get ourselves out of that way of thinking, if we can step, and that's exactly what we're working on inside this 4-week mini mind. And we're starting on the 17th. We're spending the entire time focusing on who you need to become in order to create 5-figure and multi-5-figure months in your business. Because it's not true that it's far away. And it's not true that you have to have worked with this many people or have had this kind of milestone or be in business for X amount of years, or you need a bigger audience and you need more people. None of that is true. None of it. I've had clients who have made 6 figures and multi-6 figures with a very small audience and a very small email list. I myself didn't have an email list until months into my business, didn't have a website until months into my business. I'm not someone that runs ads. Everything is organic. Like, I am someone who I didn't choose to listen to all the rules that I should have followed running my business because I felt like my frequency was so much bigger, so much more powerful, so much stronger. And I know that when you can see and feel your frequency as the most powerful frequency on earth, not the power and the frequency of these rules, and not the frequency of what you should do, and not the frequency of the industry and all of these things. Like, when it's not that, when it's so far away from that, that it is you sourcing power from within you, you become limitless. You become infinite, because then there are no rules. There are no limitations. It isn't just, well, okay, if you're the kind of person that believes in logic and you put in this much and you get out this much, and you what's a logical thing that people think? Like, if I work harder and I just add on all of these other strategies, then I'll get me to a 10K month, because everyone who has 10K months has these like funnels, or maybe you pour like $1,000 into ads each month. But what's more powerful than the frequency of ads and rules and funnels and all of these things, right? And we get to explore those things. It's not either this or that. It's not black or white. But most of the time when we're looking to take more action, it's from the energy of feeling like we're not enough and feeling like we're too far away from 5-figure months and that it can't be available. You might even be listening to this episode, this live stream, thinking, I'm not even going to let myself play with that, because 5-figure months, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 months. No, that's so far away. But I want you to see that that's just a limitation. That's not actually true. But you might say, well, Tiffany, right now I'm making $9,000 a month, or I'm making $5,000 a month, or I'm making I have some 20K months, or I have some 10K months. I have some big cash months, but then they start to come back down. Or, that's not possible for me because I haven't ever had a launch that's been blah, 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 blah. So we start looking at past evidence to tell ourselves whether or not this is available. And we start to base it off of if this was close, because then we're still going back to linear thinking. We're still telling ourselves it has to be 8,000, then 9,000, then 10,000, then 11,000, then 12,000, then 15,000, then 20,000. What if you can just jump right now from where you are to a $30,000 a month? What if you could just jump right now where you are to a $50,000 a month? And that is available. And not everyone who's created big cash months has done it linearly, right? It's not a linear game. That's not the game we're playing. It's not the game we're playing. We are playing the game of energetics, and anything can happen in the quantum field. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So if you're playing in that realm, the realm of potentiality, the realm of anything is possible, you can create anything, you are infinite, then you can create anything. It wasn't logical or linear for me to be a teen single mom that was living off of food stamps that created a 7-figure business in the first 4 years. I'm in my 6th year of business. But in my 4th year, my company reached over 7 figures total. And that, someone would say, is impossible. But are we not here to defy the odds? And isn't that what entrepreneurship is all about? You go all in, you decide. You don't say, we'll see, you decide. Okay? You don't say, we'll see. You say, I decide, I declare. I'm all in. I'm all in. Even though I don't have the proof and I don't have the evidence, I'm going all in because this is who I am. And this is how I want the universe and money to respond to me. Money is energy, and you are energy. So you can dictate the flow of money. You can always dictate the flow of money. And in fact, we always dictate the flow of money because money is always responding to us. Even when it's happening in a way where you don't desire, you don't love it, you don't love how it's responding to you, even then you are still dictating it. It's still responding to you. It's responding to something in your subconscious, some standard that you've set, some limitation that you've decided is true. It's not actually true, but you've decided it's true. You decided that this thought was true. You decided that it would be scarier or unsafe for you to have more money. You decided that if you had more money, then more people would ask you for more money, and maybe you would be in a position that you don't want to be in, or maybe you would lose your friends and your family and you'd be seen as a different person, and you don't want that. And so somewhere in your subconscious that's been embedded in you, and then so you've decided, I will just stay at this amount of money because that will make me a good person, and I want to be a good person. That can also be the voice of our wounded, younger inner child that decided and picked up from a young age that making more money makes you a greedy or evil person. You picked it up from the movies, or you picked it up from your parents arguing about money, or what your parents used to say about people who had money, and then you just decided and latched onto it that over time, this has to be the truth, right? Not that it is actually the truth, but when we're so young and we see the two people that we love the most fighting over this one thing, that one thing must be bad. Or if they say something like you should only make enough to really pay the bills, and anything more than that, you're being greedy and that's bad. And you're like, I don't want to be bad, but I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be bad. So you know what? When I grow up, I want to be good. So I won't make that much money. But then you find your heart's purpose and you launch your business and you want to grow and scale. And that little thought, I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be bad, but I don't want to be bad, is still embedded in your subconscious, deep, deep, deep in there. Inside a chest, inside another chest, inside a bigger chest, inside an even bigger chest with locks and keys is this little subconscious thought that you picked up as a young child that's like, I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be bad. And it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It's subconscious. And you've taken it on as truth. So now adult you at 30, 40, 50 years old, you're playing this out in your reality. But it's stemming from this tiny, tiny, tiny little thought that's going, I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be bad. And what it's looking like in your business is self-sabotaging, not going all in on your launches, energetically closing yourself off from having more money, not wanting to appear like you care too much, protecting yourself from disappointment and rejection, not doing the bigger thing and always opting for the smaller, safer thing. All because I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be bad. That is still running in your subconscious. So inside the 5-figure frequency mini mind, which starts on the 17th of April, we are going to be dissecting, dissolving, clearing, alchemizing all of the subconscious shadows that are keeping you from making more money. Because this is what you came here to do. Because money is a response and a reflection of the impact that you're making in this world. So you have to be the person that enjoys making a massive impact and knowing that massive money comes as a response. That you get to be the biggest version of yourself and big money gets to come in and support and fund your mission. Because this is what you came here to do. This is it. This is it. So when you let yourself do this, and this is what we're focusing on specifically inside this mini mind. Like this is a mini mind where we're literally focusing on your energetic standards, your financial minimums and maximums in your monthly income and increasing it. And when you know how to do this, you're going to have this information and this knowledge for the rest of your business. You can't unknow it once you know it. The investment is $11. You can do 3 payments of $400. We're starting on the 17th. I'm so excited for this mini mind. It is going to be an incredible group of women leaders. And we're all going to be having conversations about making 5 figures a month every single month. Every single month. As a minimum. And then stacking multi 5 figures on top of it every single time. And this is all purely energetic. Okay? Because this is about the energetic standards and capacity in which you are holding that then the universe and money get to come in and support and respond to. But if these standards are not set, if they are not clear, money doesn't know how to come in and support you. You set the standards, they're up to you. You dictate how money responds to you. You decide how money flows into your life and your business. So when you're ready to raise your energetic minimum and never make under 5 figures a month ever, and then you're going to get to a point in your business where you raise it again and you're not going to be making less than 6 figures a month ever. And I want to be able to support you in increasing this again and again and again and again, starting with right where you are right now, clearing and alchemizing all of the subconscious patterns and ensuring, making it inevitable that 5 figures and multi 5-figure months come into your life again and again and again because you're setting and holding these energetic standards. That's what we're doing inside the 5-figure frequency mini mind. We're meeting for 4 weeks. We have 4 weekly group calls. You also get one one-on-one private call with me. We have a Telegram chat in between the calls, and I cannot wait to get started. You will also be able to use this investment as a credit to join my year-long mastermind, Magic Mind. If you decide to join the mastermind afterwards, you can apply the credit completely and join us inside the mastermind, where you get the closest level of close proximity with me. We work together for an entire year. There's an in-person event here in the Bay Area, and you get to enter an incredible sisterhood with other badass women leaders that care about their work so deeply. And you get to learn from them and be peer coached by them and bring in your magic to the table as well. Sitting at the table that changes the way that you think and behave, because everyone else is constantly upping their game and upping their energetic standards, changes your life. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I will see you inside the four-week mini mind called 5-Figure Frequency Mini Mind. You can DM me Mini Mind and I will share all the details with you. And if you have any questions and you want to ask me anything about it, just send me a DM. We'll have a conversation, see if you're a good fit to join us. And I would love to have you.